remember we were speaking about finance. And so, excuse me, we were learning about simple interest. And so we're going to use the simple interest formula over here to answer this particular question that we're given over here. Right. But now if we look at the question that we've been given, it says here for us to calculate the simple interest. So the thing that's missing from our calculation over here is I, because they've given us 4,500 Rand at 9%. Oh, I'm lying. No, we're calculating for just interest, not the interest rate, the simple interest. And I will show you guys the difference in just a bit. Okay, so we're basically calculating for A. All right, so calculate the simple interest on 4,500 Rand at 9% interest per year for 4 years. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so I want us to use this exact formula that I've given you guys over here. Find me A equals, please put that into the formula and pop your answers in the chat for me. I just need to confirm with my team that we're okay and we're up and running. Okay, anybody got an answer for me? Thank you, Fortunate. Lovely, 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 lovely. All right, so we're going to put this into the formula as we normally would. A equals, now our P value is going to be this amount that we put in. This is our interest rate, I, and this is our 4 years N, right? So we'll just go 4,500, open brackets, 1 plus 9% times that by 4. And we should get 6,120. Give me a thumbs up if you agree. Does everybody agree with Fortunate's answer? Are we all good? Lovely. Good work. Good work. All right. So I want us to understand the difference between an interest rate and interest, because it's quite important that we know the difference between the two. All right. So let's say, for instance, I put money in an account. I put 5,000 Rand into an account and it earns interest. And let's say maybe after 3 years, I have 7,800 Rand in my account, right? Now, the interest rate would be the percentage at which I was the percentage that I was given in order to get to that 7,800 Rand. But the interest, which is going to be capital I, is how much I have made, how much I make. Okay, so if I had 5,000 Rand in my account to begin with, and I now have 7,800, how much did I make? Grade 10s, sorry, I just taught grade 8 a little while ago. How much did I actually make?
Mine isn't at 12,800 because you add in both the amounts.
Yes, well, 2,800, not quite 12,000. Okay, so 2,800, yes, correct, my darling, well done. So in order for us to calculate for capital I, which is interest, we will say interest is equal to our accumulated amount, which is our end amount, minus our principal amount, which is our start. Okay, so when they ask you to calculate for the simple interest, if they just say interest, they want you to use this formula. But if they ask you for the interest rate, then they are asking for small letter I. Thumbs up. Am I making sense? Yes? Okay. Interest is how much I've made. The interest rate is the percentage at which I have made it. Okay, so if we take this exact question that we've just done here and we calculate for the interest, we are going to take is equal to my A value, which is what we've just calculated, 6,120 Rand minus my original amount, which is 4,500, minus my principal amount. So 6120 minus 4500 equals 1,620. So how much interest have we made? 1,620. And we need to know the difference between the two. All right. Okay. And that's the last thing we're going to talk about. So interest actually comes up in both simple and compound interest, but that's the last thing we're going to speak about in terms of simple interest. Then in your, oh my goodness, it's like it's load shedding, and now my brain is also load shedding. I don't know. Okay, in your quiz, there we go. In your quiz, you will also get a question like this. And so look out for the difference between the word interest and the word interest rate. Okay, all right, let's talk about compound interest today. All right, so we're going to do the exact thing that we did last time. Let's think about this. They say here, you open a bank account and you deposit 1,000 Rand, right? The bank promises a 5% interest rate every year, but now they offer this interest rate on a compound interest basis, a compound interest. Okay, now let's talk about what that's actually going to mean. So we're going to do what we did last time. We're going to first start by calculating 5% of 1,000. So let's calculate for 5% of 1,000. How much am I going to get? 5% of means times. That's going to be how much? Easy calculation. And I'm going to trust you guys with these calculations today because I realize I can't actually see my calculator. I'm sitting in the dark. I might need to switch my phone on for light, but I also needed to hotspot myself. So yeah, it's a very tricky situation. Good. Thank you, Kanyo. All right. Do you have an answer for me?
50.
Good. It's 50 Rand. Right. Now, that's how much the bank gives you. So we're going to add that amount to our first 1,500 Rand. So we already had 1,000 Rand in our account. So we're going to add the 50 Rand the bank gives us to 1,000 Rand. So now in my bank account, I have 1,050 Rand. Now, the bank says, because it's a compound interest formula, we're going to take this 1,050 and we're going to give you 5% of that. So let's calculate 5% of 1,050 and tell me how much that is.
52.5.
Correct. So we make 52 Rand and 50 cents. So you see now, in the second year, we make a little more than we did in the first year, right? But that's because we've earned interest. First, we've earned interest on our 1,000 Rand, but we've also earned interest on the 50 Rand that they gave us. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we are earning interest on interest. Am I making sense? Thumbs up? Yes, are we all okay? So what they're doing is they're first giving me 5% of 1,000 plus 5% of the extra 50 Rand that they gave me. So I'm getting extra on top of extra. So now if we go to year 3, I had 1,050. I had 1,050 Rand, and now the bank adds 2 Rand and 50 cents to that. Somebody do that calculation for me while I let this person in. Let me see who this is. Let's let Uyathandwa in. There we go. All right. Can somebody calculate that for me? 1,050 plus 52,000. Sorry, plus 52 Rand.
1102.5.
Right, 1102.5. But because it's Rand and cents, this is actually 1,102 and 50 cents. Now, guess what the bank is going to do? It's going to give me 5% on 11,002 and 50 cents. So now what they're doing is they're giving me 5% of my original 1,000 plus 5% on that first 50 Rand plus 5% on that 52 Rand that came after. So do you see how now I'm adding interest on top of interest on top of interest, right? But something times something else times something else on top on top on top is the same as to the power of. Okay, it's the same as to the power of. All right, and so when we talk about compound interest, we mean that the interest rate that we're getting for every amount that we have is being compounded on top of itself. Thumbs up, making sense? We all good here? Yes? Lovely. Now, the calculations that we do here are not going to change. They're going to look exactly the same. Okay, we're going to do the exact same thing. So let's put this into practice. So remember what everything in our formula stands for. We know that our A stands for the accumulated amount, and accumulated means it's just added up, which means the final amount, what we get at the end of our calculation. Our principal just means first, which means the amount that we start with. And that's why ma'am has written start amount there. That's what the P stands for. And then we've got 1 plus, and we know where the 1 comes from because we've taken P out as a common factor, remember? And then now we've got I, which is the interest rate. And remember, interest rate versus interest, two completely different things, right? Interest rate versus interest. Remember, interest rate, small I. Interest, big I. All right, remember the difference there. And then now we've got to the power of n, to the power of however many years we put this into our account. Okay, let's put this into practice. Here's our first calculation. It says, Tato loans 5,000 Rand from the bank. They offer her a 7,000, guys, I don't know what's going on with my English today. 7% per annum compound interest, and they will always make it obvious, guys. They will always make it obvious whether it's simple interest or compound interest, so you know exactly which formula to use. Okay, then it says, how much will Tato pay back after 3 years? So we now know that Tato takes out a loan from the bank today. That is our start amount. That's today. So this is our P, right? So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to add P is 5,000. Right? And they offer her a 7,000. Oh my goodness. You guys know what I mean, right? I think ma'am has just had a long day. I don't mean 7,000, I mean 7%. Are we all okay with that? Okay. So I think we're just gonna have to filter what Teacher Coco is saying today, because clearly maybe I just want, anybody got 7,000 Rand for me? I'll take it. Okay, 7% compound interest rate. So this is the interest rate they've given us. So I equals 7%. How much will Tato pay back in 3 years? Our N is our number of years. So I is 7% and N is 3. So the thing that's missing that we're calculating for is our A value. So let's put that into our into our formula and see what we get. So we'll get A equals 5,000, open brackets, 1 plus 7%, not 7,000. All of this, close your brackets, and then to the power of 3. Let's calculate how much that is. And pop your answers in the chat for me, guys. I can't see my calculator. Let me see if maybe I can't switch on my camera. Not my light. Okay, thank you so much, Bikanyo. Okay, but remember, Bikanyo, we need to round off to 2 decimal places because it's rands and cents. So we'll have 6,125, 6,125, comma 2, because it's 215, therefore we must round off to 2 decimal places. Now, I just want to show you guys something. If we take this exact calculation and we do it on simple interest, which was 1 plus I times N, If we put this exact amount for the exact same number of years, 1 plus 7% times 3. Let's put that into our calculator and get an answer quickly. Okay, I'm going to go 5,000. 1 plus 7% times 3 equals. Over here, I'm going to get 6,050 rand. I get 6,050. So when you are taking out a loan, if your interest on your loan is compounded, you end up paying more. You end up paying more than if it's just on simple interest. Do we see that? But if you are investing money, when you compound your money, you end up making more. So which one do you guys think is best for loans? Simple or compound interest? Which one is better for a loan? Would you want compound interest or simple interest for a loan? Fortunate, you're quite correct. I would want simple interest if I'm taking out a loan because I want to pay less. But if I'm investing money and I'm putting money into a savings account, I would want compound interest because I'm going to earn money on top of my money on top of my money. Thumbs up. Am I making sense? Yes, are we all good? All right. And even if they offer you a lower interest rate on compound interest, trust me, guys, it catches up to simple interest so fast. So even if, let's say, for instance, you go to a bank and they say, we will offer you, and you say, I want to invest 5,000 Rand. And they say, we will offer you 4% compound interest, but we will offer you 7% simple interest. I know it sounds like a disadvantage, but keep your money at compound interest. Just keep it in there for longer, because a little bit longer and it's going to surpass your simple interest rate. Okay, because you'll be making money on top of money. All right, let's look at another example. Now, remember, sometimes they don't always ask us to calculate for A. That's the easy calculation. Let's see what happens if they ask us for something else. All right, let's read the question we've been given here. It says, how much was invested? So what are we missing exactly in this calculation? If they say how much was invested, what are we missing? Which value in my calculation? That's it, Kanyo. We're missing P. That's it, Desmarie. I saw you put a thumbs up and I knew exactly what you meant. Okay, the P is what is missing. So over here at P, we're going to put question mark. We don't know, right? How much was invested in account after 15 years if the final amount is 10,125? Okay, so my final amount is my A amount, and N is my number of years, so that's 15. So N will be 15. My A will be 10,125 at a compound interest rate. I tell you, they will always tell you compound interest rate of 4.5%. So our I is 4.5%. Now, we want P. So we need to go in and make P the subject of the formula. Now, the thing that is missing, or the thing that is actually attached to the P that's making it difficult for me to calculate it, is this bracket. This bracket over here. So if I want P on its own, I need to get rid of that bracket. But now this bracket is multiplied to P. So if I want to get rid of it, I must divide by the bracket to get rid of the bracket to the power of N. Okay, so what I do on the right-hand side, I'm also going to do on the left-hand side. So 1 plus I to the power of N. So now anything divided by itself will be nothing. It will go away. It will be 1. And then we'll get P is equal to A over 1 plus I to the power of N. All right, so let's put that into our formula and see. Right, we'll get P equals A over, oh, and now I'm writing A instead of the amount. Let's put the amount in. Our A value is 10,125 over, and then I'm going to open brackets, 1 plus 4.5%. Don't forget to click the percent sign, guys. Or if you don't click percent, click 4.5 over 100. Close brackets to the power of 50. Let's put that into our calculator. Somebody give me an answer, please. What do we get? Lovely. Well done, guys. That's the answer we're looking for. Excellent. So our answer is, give me a second, sorry, 5,231.79 and 79 cents. All right. All right. Thumbs up. Are we all okay on how to calculate for A and how to calculate for P? Are we good? Lovely stuff, everyone. Okay, let's complicate life a little bit. Shall we? Let's complicate life a little bit more. All right. So we've just learned that if we have a formula, A equals P, open brackets, 1 plus I to the power of N, we've just learned that if we want to calculate for P, because P is multiplied to my bracket, I can just divide my bracket to get, or I can divide by my bracket to get P on its own. But now what happens if I say to you guys that I want I as the subject of my formula? Now, it's going to get a little techie, right? Because a couple of things need to happen, but I need you guys to stick with me. Those of you who love to unmute and give me answers, this is your shining moment because I'm going to need as much engagement as possible. All right. So the problem here is that my I is inside the bracket, right? What actually has I inside a bracket? Why have we put I in a bracket? Because it's being multiplied to what? Which value? Correct, Litawi. To P. Thank you very much. That's it. It's being multiplied to P. So first, we want to get rid of P. And because P is multiplied to my bracket, I'm going to divide by P, divide by P. So the P's will go away. I now have A over P is equal to, now this thing is still in a bracket, I to the power of N, because of the power of N. So that's the next thing we're going to have to get rid of. We're going to have to get rid of this power of N. It's giving us a problem. But now, ish, guys, to the power of N, what do we do? What do we do? All right, let me ask you guys a question. If I said to you guys that I've got x squared is equal to 16, how would I get rid of the x squared?
Using the square root.
I would find the square root. Lovely. I would find the square root, and then the square and the root would go away, and I would have x all its own. Lovely. We're all on the same wavelength. Right. Now, if I say to you, I've got x cubed is equal to 27, how would I get rid of a cube? Anybody? How would I get rid of a cube? Well done, Jaden, absolutely. And whoever unmuted, lovely. I would take the cube root of each side to get an answer. So the cube and the cube root would cancel each other out and they would go away. And my answer here would be 3. Right. Now, let's take it a little further. If I have x to the power of 5 is equal to 32, how would I get rid of an x to the power of 5? I would find the what? It's exactly the
You
same.
find the exponent number of 32.
We would find the what, the something root. I'll tell you, it has root in it. Okay, it's just called the. It's the fifth root, right? Let's think about it. It's just called the fifth root. Is everybody understanding what I mean? If there's a to the power of 5, I'm just going to take the fifth root of each side. Yes, thumbs up. Everybody with me there? Yes, it's called a fifth root. I know it's kind of. I know it sounds kind of funny. We just say the number and root with at the end. Okay, so the 5 and the fifth root would cancel, and my answer here would be x is equal to 2. Right. So now again, if I asked you guys, I want x to the power of 6 is equal to 64. How do I get rid of the power to 6 of 6?
Sixth root.
Exactly. I would take the sixth root on each side, and then again, x would equal 2. All right. So I know that if I want to get rid of something to its power, I just need to take the it root. Right. So now I have something to the power of n. So what kind of root do I need to take here? A what root?
Square root of n.
That's it. Correct. I would have to take, and put it so beautifully, the nth root. Thumbs up. Oh, guys, I think you're doing great. I don't even think I need thumbs up. You guys are doing so great. Right. The nth root is what we would have to take. So I would have to take the nth root on this side. And if I do that on the right-hand side, I'm also going to have to take the nth root of a over p. And the n and the nth root would cancel out. So I would then have the nth root of a over p is equal to, and now that the nth is gone, I don't need the brackets anymore. I will now have 1 plus I left. All right, what's my final step here, guys? My final step is to take, I need I all its own.
Transpose.
We must transpose the 1, absolutely. We will transpose 1 over to the other side. And now I know that I is left all on its own. So my answer will say I is equal to the nth root of a over p minus 1. Now, grade 10s, we need to be very careful. I want you guys to note that this root, this nth root, does not include minus 1. And I say this because somebody's going to give me an answer and they're going to tell me, ma'am, my calculator gave me a negative answer, or my calculator gave me math error. It's not supposed to. Okay, and we're going to talk about specifically what you need to put in your calculator to ensure that we don't have a math error, because your calculator is never going to be able to give you the fourth root of a negative number or the square root of it. In fact, the even root of any negative number will not exist. So we need to be very careful about how we put it in our calculator. So everybody needs to follow along with me when we do the following calculation. All right. Okay, let's look at A over here. A says, the initial amount of an investment was 41,746,40. So the initial amount means the start amount. Initial means first, right? Principal. So P. This is our P value. And in 9 years, so 9 is going to be our N. So when we calculate, we're going to take the what's root. What's root are we going to take, guys? The what's root.
9th root.
The 9th root. Absolutely. We're going to take the 9th root. Okay, lovely. So we already know that as we go. All right, we'll increase. Oh, it increased to 100 and, oh, is that million? Oh, this is a lot of money. That was 49,000. This is 132,000. Yo, so much money. Lovely. 132,000. Now the question says, calculate the interest rate if the interest was compounded annually. So we know that we're looking for the interest rate in the compound interest formula. All right, so let's go ahead and write that formula that we've just derived. So I is going to equal the nth root. I'm sorry, there we go. We're going to do I is equal to the nth root of A over P, and outside my root, minus 1. Let's sub in our values. All right, so I is going to equal, now n is 9, so the 9th root of my A value needs to be the amount that I had after 9 years, which is that A value. So that's going to be 132,023 cents, 53, all over 41746,40 out of the root sign minus 1. Now, here's what we're going to do, grade 10s. When we plug this into our calculator, we are going to first click this button. It looks like this. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. It looks like this, x to the power of something. All right, above it, in yellow, there is this. It looks like that. There's a block that's colored in with a root sign and that. Do we all see it? Thumbs up. Are we all seeing that it's written in yellow above that sign? Yes. So we're going to click Shift, and then we're going to click this button. So click Shift and click that button. All right. Then that thing is going to come up. Now, in that blinky little thing over there, we're going to put 9. And then we're going to toggle to the right. So go inside the root, and I want you guys to add in your numbers. So you're first going to click the fraction sign so that a fraction opens up. And then you're going to put 132,023,53. And then you're going to put 41746, oh, not 764, other way around, 746,40. And I know that some of us are trigger happy. We're going to run ahead. I want you to stop. Stop right here. Okay, because there's something very specific we're going to do here. All right. The next thing I suspect everybody is going to do after putting these numbers is you're going to click the arrow to the right. Am I correct? Thumbs up. We're going to click the arrow to the right. Okay, I can repeat. Let me go back. Let's go back a little bit. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do before we even start is we're going to first click Shift. You're going to click Shift on your calculator, and then you're going to click the button that looks like this, X with a little open square, right? Now, if you click Shift first, what's going to happen on your calculator is this thing is going to open up. It's going to look like this. Yes, Letabo? Does it look like that, my darling? Yes. Can I just get a thumbs up from everyone? Did this happen for you when you click Shift and that button? I just want to make sure that everybody got this far. Okay. Letabo, am I going to give you, do I need to give you a second to find it? Yes. Okay. All right. So when it toggles, your cursor on your calculator is going to be blinking here. So you over here, you're going to input 9. You're going to input 9. And then you're going to click the button to the right so that it can start blinking on the inside of your calculator. Lovely. All right. So as soon as we've done that, we're going to click the fraction button. Okay. we're going to click the fraction button, because on the inside, we need a fraction. We need A over P inside. So we're going to click the fraction button. And then my calculator is going to start blinking here. The cursor on my calculator will blink here. I need to put the A value in here. Now, if we go back to our calculation, remember we're busy with A. We're going to put this A value. Our A value is 132,023 Rand and 50 cents. So on the top, we're going to put that. And then we're going to toggle down. And at the bottom, we're going to put the P value. We're going to put in 41,746,40. Has everybody managed that? Thumbs up. Everybody with me there? Lovely. Letabo, are you with us? I don't want to leave anybody behind, guys. It does get quite complicated. Okay, Desmarie, we'll give you a second. Just let us know when you're ready, or if you're stuck somewhere, tell me where to help you. Okay, or maybe it just takes a while to punch in the numbers. I know, it's big numbers, big money. All right. All good. Okay, lovely. All right. So the next thing we want to do is to add the -1, because we're going to have to -1 from this. So everybody is going to click the button to the right. Okay. Now, I want you guys to click -1, but don't click equals. So after you've toggled once, click -1. Who can tell me what happened to this root sign? What happens to the root sign when you click -1? Does it extend? Does it get longer?
Yes.
Yes, but that's wrong. Yes, it's wrong because it's not supposed to extend, because -1 is not part of the root sign. So here's what we need to do. Click delete twice so that the 1 and the minus go away. Click them both away. Click them away. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to click the arrow to the right twice. Click it twice so that it's now that your cursor is now blinking here outside of your root sign. Yes? Give me a thumbs up once your calculator is blinking on the correct part. Once you've done that, then click -1. And then you can click equals. -1 equals. And then give me the answer. It's going to be a decimal. It's going to be 0, something, something. Okay. That's it, Balisa, correct. So the answer our calculator is going to give us is 0,14. But 0, okay, sure. All right. So remember, just give me a second. Okay, Jaden, can you just tell me from where exactly I may have, from the part where I said we need to click back or the part where we need to click the right arrow twice? Is that the part? Okay, all right. So here's what we need to do. I need you to delete all of this stuff here, right? Until your calculator is blinking. Oh my goodness, why? Oh, it's because my stylus is skew. I'm like, why can I not draw a straight line? Okay, so I want your calculator to be blinking here. There. Okay. All right. So if it's blinking there, it means that your calculation is still inside the root. It's still inside the square root. So you need to click to the right. Click your right arrow on your calculator. But if you click it once, if you click it just once, it's going to stay in there. So you need to click it twice. Okay. So that it starts toggling not inside the root sign, but just outside it. Do you understand? So it's like it's blinking a little bit, like a blink, 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 right? On your screen. And then you click -1. And then you press -1. And then you can click equals. And the answer you should get is 0,14. Now, why do we get a decimal? Because Interest rate is a percentage, and percentage is calculated out of 100. Yes? So obviously it's going to give us a decimal out of 100. So what we need to do then is we need to take our answer and multiply by 100. Okay. All right, and the answer we should get there is 14%. All right, thumbs up. Are we okay? There was a lot happening there. Are we okay? Do we want to try another example? I think we should do another one. Yes? Let's do another one. Okay, I want everybody to look at question C. We're going to skip B because I feel like B is easy. We're just calculating for P. All right, B is easy. Let's go to C, where they want us to calculate for I. And I want you guys to go try this all your own. All right, I need you guys to go try it by yourself. Remember how to toggle your calculator so that you don't end up with your -1 inside your square root, right? Let's just do the background work. I'm going to help you with the background work, and then you guys need to take it along. All right, so let's start at the beginning. It says here, the initial amount. So we know initial means the start amount of an investment is 44,561. This is our P value. This is P, right? And in 9 years, we now know that this is our N. And we know that if it's in N years and we're calculating for the interest rate, we're going to take the 9th root. Okay. After 9 years, it increased to 149,171.36. That is our future amount after 9 years. So this is the end amount. This is A. Now it says here, calculate the interest rate. So we know we're calculating for I. If the interest was compounded, and there it tells us that we must use the compound interest formula to find the answer. All right, I'm going to stop there. Here is the formula. The formula that we have derived is up here. The instruction is here. Don't forget, this is also part of the instruction. Clicking the button to the right twice. I want you guys to pop your answers in the chat for me when you are ready. Yes, correct, Jaden. We must use the same formula because we're calculating for the interest rate again. So I is the thing that we want. And this formula that we've derived here says I equals. So that tells us that we can use it to find the interest rate. Okay. All right, I'll give you guys a second. I'm going to try and find out here what's going on with the electricity. All right, peeps, do we have an answer? Okay, Bikanyo has an answer. Let's see if anybody else has an answer. But Bikanyo, remember that 0.15 is what we would get if our interest rate was divided by 100. Okay, Jaden says he got 14% again. We can you maybe check again? Maybe we haven't quite inputted one thing there. Can you also get 0.14? All right, there we go. Okay, all right. Okay, so remember, yes, it's best to round off to 2 decimal places unless they specifically say. Okay, Jaden, and what that would mean is that, let me see if I can do the calculation very quickly for myself, because it's going to be very important for how we write the answer. Okay, the 9th root of, sorry guys, I'm sitting in the dark, so it's going to be quite difficult for me to kind of input these numbers properly. I hope I don't make a mistake. 171,36 over 44561, 90, toggle 1, 2 out of my bracket, minus 1 out of my, yeah. Yes, so the answer we get is, I'm just going to write it here, 0, write in black, this orange isn't the nicest, 0, 1, 4, 3, 6, 7, 4, 4, 4, 3, 8. So what I recommend you do, as soon as you have this answer, automatically click times 100. So don't round it off just yet. First click times 100. So my answer that I would get after I multiply by 100 would be 14, 36744. Then I would round off to 2 decimal places. So my interest rate would actually be 14,37. That's where I would round off to 2 decimal places. So my answer is 14,37%. All right, thumbs up. Is everybody okay with that? Okay, so first multiply by 100 and then round off to 2 decimal places. Okay. All right. Just to be on the safe side, just in case your teacher's a little finicky, and then you can be like, well, I did it right and you didn't. You know what I mean? Okay. All right. Now I will give you guys a chance to calculate B. All right. Calculate B. Okay. And I'm going to ask, I'm not going to say anything. If you read B, what are they asking us for in B? I know, Desmarie, it's like the time just disappeared. I don't know what happened. Like it was just 5 o'clock and now it's 6 o'clock. I don't know. Okay, good, Fortunate. That's correct. We are looking for P. So again, we're going to have to take our compound interest formula here. I've written it here in the corner for you. And you're going to have to make P the subject of the formula. And remember, that's the easy one. We will just divide both sides by this bracket over here. All right, calculate for P for me, guys, and then I'll let you guys go. Ooh, let me not move that. You know what, Jaden? We normally don't share these notes, but you know, now that you pointed out, it would probably be best if I did share the notes with you guys. So what I'll do is I will share these questions and the rest of them that you didn't get to on our classroom not classroom teams, our Google Class. Okay, I will share the notes with you on Google Class, and today is quiz day. So at exactly 6 o'clock, a quiz will pop up on our Google Class, and it will be a quiz on simple interest and compound interest. Okay, and then you can try that as well. All right. I have no idea what a jam file is, but it looks fun. I'll have to see. Let me click on it. Hopefully it's not problematic. Let me see. Let me click on it and let's see. Make sure that Letabo isn't going to or Amani isn't going to send us all and steal all of our things here. Oh, it says access denied. Request access. Okay, I'm gonna request access. Thank you, Amani. Let's see what's inside. Okay. Is it a mistake? I've already clicked on it. Sorry. I've already clicked on it. So now you have to let me in. On principle, you have to request. When I request access, you have to give it to me. Okay. All right. Does anybody have an answer for P for me? Oh, I see. I also okay. Now I can't get we can't access it because it's clearly for certain people. All right. Okay. Oh, thank you, Kanya. I was about to say I'm going to calculate what P is. Let's see. All right. I'm going to input the necessary things. Let's see what happens. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna erase this part here so that I can fill in the answer for B where it belongs. It belongs over there. All right. So P is going to equal to A over, open brackets, 1 plus I to the power of N. That's how we calculate for P. So P is equal to my A value, which is 61,886,87, all over, open brackets, 1 plus my interest rate, which is 5,5% to the power of 3. All right, let's see what we get here as an answer. Okay, 61,886,87 over, open brackets, 1 plus 5,5% to the power of 3. 52,703. Well done. There we go. 52,703 and 70 cents. There we go. Well done, Kanyo. That's 100% the correct.